If I had a nickel for every time I was doomed by a puppet, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times Phineas and Ferb got dark.
The dark side is my home now.
Whoa, Ferb, what are you doing?
For this list, we'll be looking at the most nightmarish moments in Phineas and Ferb. You know, the stuff that's just a little too dark to be in a kid's show. Before we get started, leave us a comment letting us know what moment scared you the most as a kid. Number 10. Phineas and Ferb are deleted from reality and time is almost destroyed. Out of context, this moment is kind of insane. A portal opens up in the middle of nowhere and just sucks Phineas and Ferb into it.
Stuff's disappearing, and once it goes, nobody remembers it ever existed.
They end up in a grayed out, bleak version of what appears to be Danville, with everything else that's also being deleted from reality.
Oh my gosh, Ferb, spoons! Now I totally remember how we forgot about them when they disappeared.
What's probably the eeriest thing about this is that because Candace and Dr. Doofenshmirtz are the only two stuck in the time loop, no one else remembers the boys. Isabella, Baljeet, and Buford all think Candace is an only child, and even Linda doesn't remember her own sons.
Mom! Phineas and Ferb are gone!
I'm sure it's going to be all right, dear, but who are Phineas and Ferb?
Plus, by the end of the episode, the stakes are enormously high with the possibility of time itself being destroyed. Is this the part where we shout for mom? Number 9. The Bad Future. Time travel is always a little confusing, so bear with us.
Candace? Time machine?
In this special, Phineas and Ferb travel to the future in search of a tool that hasn't actually been invented yet. They run into future Candace, who's immediately sent into her old ways upon seeing them.
No, wait, we're too late!
When it turns out she can't bust them, even in her 30s, older Candace travels back to the day her brothers built the roller coaster, and this time, she succeeds. Mom sees the roller coaster and Phineas and Ferb are busted, but when she goes back to her present, the future isn't quite like she remembers it. Creativity is outlawed, Doofenshmirtz has managed to take over, and, well, things are pretty disturbing. Or should we say, doof-turbing.
Hey, why aren't you wearing your lab coat?
I gotta go see my children.
Children? There are no children allowed anymore.
Number 8. The Klimpaloon experiments.
You'll have to excuse me if this device seems incredibly threatening. It's only because it is incredibly threatening.
Klimpaloon was a recurring gag throughout the series, and in season 4, he finally got his own episode. In case you're a little fuzzy on the details, Klimpaloon is a magical, old-timey bathing suit who lives in the Himalayan mountains. At an award show, Love Handel's Klimpaloon ballad is interrupted by another nominee who doesn't think the song belongs in the fact-based song category.
Klimpaloon is not real!
What?
Phineas, Ferb, Candace, and the gang set out to prove that Klimpaloon does in fact exist. On their journey, they stumble into a lair belonging to Middington Random, who has been performing horrible, inhumane experiments on Klimpaloon clones for capitalist gains. Honestly, Candace explains it best.
Mr. Random is a ruthless venture capitalist who captured all of us in his Himalayan fortress where he performed inhuman experiments on bathing suits and tried to destroy Klimpaloon in pursuit of a revolutionary swimsuit sales gimmick.
We know they're just clones, but still. Middington is on some Project MK Ultra business. Number 7. Evil Carl's Plan. Turns out, the evilest villain in this show is actually Carl after he's struck by Doofenshmirtz's ultimate evilinator ray. Interning without pay will definitely do that to you.
I'm going to take over the tri-state area. And with my administrator's access to OWCA's supercomputer and my intimate knowledge of proper photocopying techniques, I'm just the unpaid stooge to do it.
Anyway, Carl creates killer robots of nearly every main character, which is pretty terrifying in itself, but couple that with the very real danger the kids are in, and we've got ourselves some pretty high stakes. To make matters worse, Candace is later cornered by Robot Phineas, who has the clear intention to end her life. Yes, he's a robot, but we're going to go out on a limb here and say that the image of your baby brother nearly blasting you to smithereens is bound to stick around in your mind for a while.
I know what I am going to destroy today.
And don't even get us started on Robot Candace's sacrifice. Number 6. The Goozum Scene. If you've seen this movie, you know exactly what scene we're referring to. And if you watched it as a kid, there's a good chance it scared the 104 days of summer vacation straight out of you. Despite the whole movie being incredibly dark, don't worry, we'll get to it later, we think this moment deserves a special mention.
Yes! Go, Gozer!
It's probably the most high-stakes scene of the movie, and frankly, it's pretty terrifying. The pace and dramatic tension are insanely well executed. Not only is the gang chained up to each other, they're also on top of the cage of a giant, hungry monster they're about to be fed to, which is also dangling over a pit of lava. So, seems like fair odds.
Oh great, you caught it! Unlock me!
Are you even paying attention?
Oh, that's right, it can wait.
Number 5. Ferb becomes a Sith. Calling all Star Wars fans, dude, evil Ferb is kinda wild. Already how much he talks in this scene is eerie. Forget the likeness to Darth Maul.
Join me on the dark side, brother.
At first, Phineas thinks he's joking, but when it's clear Ferb isn't giving up the act, Phineas's reaction is heartbreaking.
Come on, quit messing around. Hey, this isn't funny. I'm not gonna fight you.
There's not a single moment in the show where Phineas and Ferb so much as get into a tiff, let alone a full-blown fight. Phineas's reaction feels so genuine with the way he only tries to dodge hits instead of fighting back, and the only reason he ends up fighting back at all is because he has no other choice.
Hey, this is crazy. We would never try to hurt each other.
Of course, this scene didn't get off without at least a little bit of humor, but it's still one of the darkest in the series.
Is that the best you got? Oh, we're allowing modifications, huh? Give me a sec.
Number 4. Phineas and Ferb lose their creativity.
I woke up this morning and the world was gray.
Phineas and Ferb has quite the track record of explaining horrendous things through song. We suppose it makes things a little lighter for the kids, but if you watch the show as an adult, there's a good chance you'll pick up on the darker lyrics.
Wanna be creative, but the man won't hear it.
In this case, the visuals paired with the song are a dead giveaway. When Phineas and Ferb are finally busted, they're sent to a reform school, which is really more like a prison, where they're completely wiped of any creativity.
Got these chains on me and they're dragging me down.
Although they really try their best to create and stay optimistic, even in the worst of situations, they're eventually broken.
Don't say imagination is morally wrong.
It's a good thing this ended up being a dream because it really is the stuff of nightmares. Number 3. The literal zombie/pharmacist apocalypse. Even though the premise of this episode is absolutely hysterical, with all of Danville turning into Dr. Doofenshmirtz's, there are some surprisingly dark moments. It starts off with Isabella disappearing, and Phineas going out of his mind with worry.
If she's been turned into a pharmacist, I'll never forgive myself.
When she finally turns up okay, the gang has bigger problems to worry about. Nearly everyone has already been turned into zombie pharmacists, and slowly, the main cast is picked off one by one. Isabella has already had to watch her troupe get turned, and Baljeet and Buford are next. Candace saves Vanessa and gets turned right in front of her brothers. Perry is next, then Vanessa, then Doofenshmirtz. After that, Phineas sacrifices himself, and even Isabella seems to know it's the end.
If this is the end, there's something I have to tell you.
Everyone ends up saved, but this one was an insanely close call. Number 2. Dr. Doofenshmirtz's backstories. Yes, all of them.
Oh, how cute! But where's Mom?
She didn't, show up for the birth.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz's backstories are all so traumatic, we could probably make a whole other ranked list just about his life.
We'll keep track of the level of emotional pain each backstory causes on this colorful gnomometer.
For the sake of this video, though, we've grouped all his backstories into one entry. It all begins on the day of Heinz's birth, where neither of his parents show up.
It all began on the day of my actual birth. Both of my parents failed to show up.
If him being raised by ocelots is any indication, this lack of parental love will be a continuous theme throughout his life.
I couldn't kick my way right into her heart.
He doesn't make a lot of friends in his childhood, seeing as he was forced to wear dresses and take up the place of the garden gnome. On top of that, when he finally does make friends with a balloon, of all things, it ends up floating away.
I got a balloon at the carnival. I drew a face on him, I sprayed him with special lifelong lasting spray I created, and I named him Balloony. He became my best friend in the whole world.
It's a hard knock life for Dr. D.
I'm waiting for you to finish my sentence for me, sir.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Candace breaks down. Her speech sounded like it was heading in some pretty dark places.
What are you talking about?
I'm not the chosen one. I'm not special. I'm not even a good sister. You guys are better off without me.
Phineas runs out of ideas. Alternative title, Phineas runs out of optimism. Equally horrifying.
We'll make it. After all, we've got the seats, we've still got one rubber band, and we've got sand.
Hey, maybe you can make an hourglass and watch the time slip away.
Losing Balloony. This is some Castaway level darkness.
Think of all the good times we can have now that we...
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Doofenshmirtz wins and Summer is outlawed.
Busting my brothers? I spent every day of my life trying to protect my little brothers. I had to grow up pretty quick around here to make sure they didn't have to.
You didn't think we forgot about this one, did you? Honestly, the name of this entry might as well be the movie title itself since it's all so dark. But Doofenshmirtz's ruling is really what's at the core of it.
Boys, I thought you were in your room. Get inside and get your doofuls back on before someone sees you. If you need me, I'll be hiding in the basement.
Summer is outlawed, everyone has to wear dooferalls, normbots roam the streets, and no one's allowed to make noise. Well, except on Doofen's Day. Even worse, this dimension's Perry was turned into a cyborg. Candace has been forced to grow up too quickly, and Phineas and Ferb are, well...
conform. I can do that.
While these aren't technically the same characters, they're stand-ins for what could have been. Plus, by the end of the movie, Dr. D tries to take over the other dimension too, so we probably weren't very far off. Pretty doofastating, huh?
Hope you got your 3D glasses, cause I'm coming at ya!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.